Top of the morning to you. Hey, I'm Michael, as the grandkids call me. Roo. Hey, thanks for being with me. It's Saturday. I almost said Monday morning because my weeks, my days are so upside down and confused right now. Thank you for being on the show. A bunch of you piled on. I just set a timer for 3 minutes, and there was a reason to that. There was a method to my madness, and I wanted you to see that happening. Let me turn this volume down just a little bit right here, and let me say hello to some of you. Thanks for being on the show. Oh my gosh, a lot of you popped on this morning, and I'm grateful. Saturday morning. And you know what? You're alive and well. You're blessed. You're happy to think art for a little bit. And and I've got a messy desk, but it's not as messy as it's been. So I cleaned up a few weeks ago, and then I've been trying to keep it a little more in a reasonable manner. So let me just say hello. Take just a moment, and then I'm going to explain to you why I painted this just a moment ago. Boom, right there it is. If you saw the counter in the corner of your screen, I put 3 minutes up there. I used a little bit of ink. I used some color out of my palette right here. I used 2 pens. Actually, I just used 1 pen this morning. I used the Pentel, and I used the Yasutoma brush. Both, and this was clean water 3 minutes ago when I started. It was just crystal clear in an old mason jar. And sounds like a country song, doesn't it? And I got ink on me already. Have just started painting with ink. My thumbnail now looks like I just changed oil in the truck, but that's ink under there, I promise you. My manicurist is going to say, really? Look at that. That is just atrocious. All right, you'll just have to deal with it today. Okay. All right, here we go. Bob, thanks for coming on the show. Morning from the wild and woolly cornfields of Iowa. Chris Whitaker, thank you for being on the show. I like to say Whitaker. But I think it's Whitaker, but I love it. And Chris, you do some great work. I love seeing your work pop up. By the way, I've been on Roo's Crew because I've been traveling some. If I have a few minutes between shoots and what I've been working on, I'll just kind of glance at my phone a little bit, pull into Roo's Crew, and I see the most amazing thing happening. You guys are sending art to each other all over creation, and it's just happening. You're making it happen. It's really amazing. I'm impressed. No kidding. I mean, I'm not. It's just fun. You're saying I want to share this with so and so. Oh, I love that. Hey, can I have that? I'd love what you're doing there. I'll share this with you. It's going back and forth. I just love the conversations just happening all over the country. People that 1 year ago you didn't even know they existed. You thought there might be people living out there somewhere, but you didn't have a connection, and now you're connected. And you're following up, and you're getting wishes and recipes and birthday gifts and paintings back and forth, and you're telling stories and swapping tales and all the way out into you people way out West Coast to East Coast to other country coasts. So it's just so impressive. Karen Binder, thanks for being on the show. Kim Sheets, glad you're here this morning. Laurie Belushi, thank you for being on the show from Getting Warmer, Attica, New York. Yeah, well, you guys have, almost 4 days of summer up there, so buckle down. Michelle, I've seen Michelle in the last week, and I'll tell you why a little bit later in the show. Glad for you being on the show, Michelle. Michelle's artwork has changed tremendously over the last year, and maybe you're keeping up with Michelle like I am. She's painting receipts, which is pretty doggone creative from wherever she goes. And so it's just kind of fun. And I'm going to springboard on that for 2 reasons. One is Michelle, my friend, but the other reason is that's what causes creativity to just sort of take a foothold and the roots start to grow a little bit. It's like, I can just paint on this. Oh, that comes to mind. That happens. That's going to be pristine education for you people who want to get into journaling. You're walking through, you're riding a bus, and you're in the middle of Paris, and you're heading over to Brittany, you're on the high-speed train, and you just see something go by, and you think, oh my gosh, I want to go back and visit that place. Did you know that Giverny, that he was actually on a train and passed by and saw that old house and that farm and got off at the next station and walked back. And that's how he found that place in the first place. No kidding. I didn't just make that up. Read his story. It's pretty amazing. So, Shanoa, thank you for being on the show. Brenda Wilcox, Rosie BG, glad you're always on. John Robert Small. I've been shot, he says. Pfizer rise in Mexico. Pauline Bowl, thank you for being on the show. And look at that. Had fun making paper with the kids on Wednesday. Whoa, making paper. You know, I appreciate you guys who take crafts and arts to the, and I say crafts and arts and crafts, whichever you want to call it, into the next level. And I got some beautiful paper I was talking about last week that I think I showed you on the show. It's just remarkable paper from a hammer mill in Holland. And it's just fabulous. And in fact, I'm holding it aside till I decide what I'm going to paint on it, you know? Anyway, Alice, but when you guys will take that and make paper and show people, show your grandkids or kids how things are made, I love that. Laurie Stanley, Handelmeyer, Henderson, thanks for being on the show. Alice Durham, thanks for being here. Pat Lightbody, Denise Albright, Susie DeLay, thank you. It is a marvelous morning to be alive. Skeeter Pal, Greenville, South Carolina. Saw a picture of Skeeter this week. A little snapshot that rolled across my list of photos. Working on this major project. I'm going to tell you, let me write that down right here. I'm going to write the word project right there on my desk, because I'll tell you what I've been working on that's taking so much of my time. And I've gotten several emails that said, hey, I bought a painting in the auction and I haven't seen it yet. Man, I'm tracking today and the first part of the week, once I get this project behind me, to see where they are. There's so many things in the mail. There are 2 big paintings that are still on my desk that I just have not had time to finish the painting the way I want them painted yet. Those are the big Rooberg coffee contraptions. One's gone. The other 2 are there. So I'm getting those finished. But I've sent out a lot, and I've had, I think, 2 emails that have said, hey, this is missing. Should I be concerned? And I'm going like, well, not yet. But look, I'll always make it right. One thing is this. We'll either find it in the mail or I'll repaint the cotton picking thing and get it to you, because, and I've had that happen very few times, but the mail has been a little quirky for the last year. Can I get an amen? Okay. Skeeter, love to see you in Greenville. Saw your face. I said on a snapshot. Barbara Mayer, Virginia Man, Rosie B., you're there again. Julie, great to be a good day in the wild and woolly fields, I guess, with Bob. Melanie Wilkes, thank you, from Shellman Bluff, Georgia. And Dolores Bowman, she calls it roommates. I like it. Mary Lou Mahaffey, M&M, did they call you that in school? Thomasville, North Carolina. You know, Thomasville is the home of some of the finest furniture in the world. Yes. Kathy Morrow, thank you for being on the show, all the way from Oregon. You people who get up early and do this, I just, you know, if I had a hat, I'd take it off. But if I had a hat, my hair would look worse than it does already. I was at Trader Joe's yesterday, and Leanne, who is one of the people that always tends to and I'm painting as we talk here. I just go through her checkout line some to say hi, check on her. She knows Carol really well because Carol shops there every day. She said, oh, look at your hair. And I said, well, look at yours. I said, it's COVID. It's my COVID cut. Becky Bailey, thank you for being on the show. Sandy Rowe, I think I said that. If I didn't, hello, Sandy Rowe. Fern Skelly, thank you for being on the show. And Fern, yes, I'm checking on your artwork. I got a note from you. Somewhere in the world. Donna Buckley, thank you for being here. Jason Nichols, thank you. Nicholas, thank you for being here. I like seeing Jason does not hold back when it comes to colors in artwork, architecture, and landscape, man. He pumps some purple and pinks into those buildings. I like it. It's just like, boom, you develop your own style. I'm loving it. Jeanette Seal, good morning to you. Bert Crone from Greenville, yes. And there's Shannon Kirk Clifton, the storyteller, bird blue sky singing morning to y'all. I love it. Elaine Woodruff, thanks for being on the show. Susan Crittenden, Lynn Brown, good morning from Palantine. Yes, the cat in the yard hunting squirrels. Well, why not? June Jones, Jim Jason, love it. Raylene Culberson, thank you for being on the show. Jackie Wallace, Donna Buckley, did I say hello? Sabine Rosemeyer, thank you for being here too. Let's see if I can fall asleep. Okay. Pat Brooks, thank you for being on the show. I hope you're doing well. Missed you one day I was on, and then another day I was gone. So good to have you on the show, Pat. Pat and I, of course, are still in the midst of waiting right now for Noodle Doodle Fiddle Piddle, a book that she's done the artwork in, and I've written the stories, and they are basically the non-rule rules to watercolor messing around. Noodle Doodle Fiddle Piddle. It's a little book that comes out. It's her brilliant artwork and just pitched the ideas. Stuff I've said on the show in the last 264 days. And she kept up with them and did the artwork. And so that's being put together, and we'll have it out soon, I promise. It just takes a long time to do this. And COVID has slowed down a lot of things. By the way, I do have Hey Roo, What's a Wheelbarrow? I've got some of those back in stock. They drip out from the publisher every now and then. You can always go to Amazon and get one copy shipped to you if you need. If you want the book signed and a rooster painted in it from me, you have to get it from that. All right, so let me show you what I just did 3 minutes ago. I'm gonna come back and say hi to some more. Tom, thanks for being on the show. Annette Henslin, Jack Wolfenbarger, good morning to you, man. Glad you're on the show. Sherry Bullard from Clinton, Mississippi. And Jean and Debbie and Julie and Sue Kane, all the way from South Australia. It's 10:30 Saturday night in South Australia. I hope you had a good Saturday. And there's Terry Tardy from Coos Bay. She's got her grandkids, and you might not need to stay long. Well, just set them down and put a brush in their hand. So, hey, you tardy grandkids. All right, here we go. Do you know the book, The Rabbit? No, I don't. That was not for me. I think that was for Sue. All right, so here we go. Let me jump ahead, and let's, Catherine Brousseau from Alberta, thank you for being on the show. Barbara Wilkinson, yes, still got art coming to you. Tamberly Marie, Linda Schleichning. Wow, there's so many faces on here, and just names. Amy Roche, thank you for saying hello. Valerie Praisey. Is it Praise or Praisey? Parisi. I don't know how to pronounce some of your names, so please give me great grace. All right. Paulette Hamilton, thank you for being on the show. And Kelly Berger. Just a lot of people on Saturday morning. I appreciate you guys hopping up and doing this. Linda Lindhart, is that right? Did I just scroll by it too fast there to say hello? I apologize. Chris Young. All right, here we go. Lisa, is it Petrosor? Petrosor. I don't know. Okay. Pat, the recipe is still out there. If you want to, you just go onto my Facebook page, scroll down a couple posts, you'll see the recipe, and you can just do a screenshot of it, or you can just do it the way that my mom did it. Get an old piece of nifty 50 notebook paper and write it down, and then lose it. All right, 3 minutes. Watch this. Here we go. Let's do 3 minutes. Why would I do a painting in 3 minutes? Let's talk about that right now. Because Rue Basics, by the way, is the art class that's coming up. And so it starts Wednesday. And so if you haven't registered for that, you can do so at Roodoodles at roodoodles.com. It's called Rue Basics. And basically, I've gone back to the beginning, and I'm going to talk about paper. I'm going to talk about brushes. I'm going to talk about pens a little bit. I'm going to talk about subjects. I'm going to talk about creativity, and I'm going to do everything not rushed and fast, but slow down. And yet there's a ironic piece to this. We are going to do things in threes, like just 3 subjects, or just maybe take one of those 3 for the next 3 weeks and nail it down. You know, some of you know I've been doing this with little bluebirds. Okay, I've decided I was going to paint bluebirds. Yeah, they're rhubards. Rhubards, yes. Bluebirds, wrens, and some cardinals. And so I basically just started and said, here we go. I'm going to just work on painting this baby bluebird until I get it to where I can just shut my eyes and do it, kind of like I can a rooster. Why would I want to do that? Well, it makes me freer, it makes me looser, and it makes me more confident when I set about to paint something. So I'm always not laboring over just getting it just right. And I don't worry about that anyway, and maybe you shouldn't either. So the reason sometimes that I do a painting in 3 minutes is just to prove to myself that I can do that journal sketch as I'm out and about. And maybe that's just a field study sketch. Maybe that's just a proof of concept to see if we can get it there on paper and then come back in the studio and sit down and take 5 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour. So the concept of 3 minutes is just that. It's not to show you that, hey, he's pretty skilled, or to show you that, look, he can show off. He can paint something in 3 minutes. It's not that at all. Here's what it does. It forces me to think creatively quickly. It forces me, and I'm using the word force, it corrals me a little bit. Here's what we want. We want our art to be free and loose, but we also want to set some boundaries that help us do that. Can I just, let me show you a case in point here. Let me get my desk. Let me go picture in picture here. Look at this. This is I don't know how big this is. Let's measure it and see. I just chopped this piece of paper down. It's 6 3/4 by 5 3/4. Didn't measure it, just cut it. I cut several of them, and I just chopped them off a big piece of paper, and they're all not the same. Look at that. So what? It doesn't matter. It's going to frame something like this, so you've still got plenty of room to work. But if I start a small piece of paper, that seems to be the smallest of the three, so I'll take that one. Okay, and I'll turn some music on in just a second and do this again for you. So here's a little piece of paper. It is this is Fabriano. The first piece I painted on this morning was Kilimanjaro 140 pound. We're going to talk about paper in the class, Roo Basics. And the signups are until tomorrow night at midnight, Sunday night at midnight. Then I'll stop because first class is Wednesday. So I won't open the page until maybe late Monday night. There'll be a little welcome on there and a video, and then we'll get started Wednesday morning at 8:57. It's a private Facebook page. It's 5 sessions. It's $48 and something. I don't know, whatever the math worked out to be, with a couple of things I threw in there. So here's a small piece of paper. So watch this. I put up a counter on the desk this morning. I said 3 minutes, and I wanted to paint a rooster in 3 minutes. Once again, not to show out, not to prove that I could, not to impress some other artist. That's not what I'm about, except that when I'm sketching out in the field in a journal, I've got to kind of get the concept down pretty quickly. Here's what it does. It causes me to be loose. It causes me to be make decisions rapidly, and it causes me to be decisive with colors right then. I can't go, well, gosh, would this look better than that? Or would this look better than that? Or maybe I should use these two mixed. I just go, no, just grab a color and go with it. It's going to be perfect. And so that's what the 3-minute sketches do. So I'm going to do this one more time for you, just with a little music. I'm just going to grab a pen. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to grab, where's my Yasutoma pen? Where's my Y&C? Here it is right here. I'm just going to grab this little pen right here. Just knocked one off on the floor, so I won't grab that one. And I've got a little Yasutoma brush, one of my favorite small brushes here. So, and I'm going to lay another little brush here just for detail. I'm going to lay a little number 6 American Journey brush here, from Cheap Joe's, right there. So I've got that, and my paint is right here. Paint's been all sprayed. I just did it with a little water. So I'm sort of ready to go, but I'm going to put a timer on, and I'm going to put a little bit of music on. I'll turn it down just a little bit if I can get my phone to wake up. I'm playing some music from my phone list over here that's supposed to be. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so here we go, and watch this. 3-minute timer, and here's what I would do. I don't know what I'm going to paint. I'm going to move any paintings away that I see. I'm just going to paint a little rooster on here and have some fun with it. And just turn the paper that way, and there we go. There's a counter up in the top. So here we go. You can see if I started his down there, I decided already that he was going to be on a mission here. Or some of these roos that I do, why would Roo bend down like this? 1, to catch grasshopper. 2, to talk to someone else. Okay, so I created a story right away. Don't know where it's going to go yet. All right, so there we go. So there's my Roo, and I painted that, and just, I don't know, I'm looking at the clock, so I'm not supposed to be looking at the clock, am I? And I'm just going to come in here, and I'm just going to paint with a little bit of water. So my decisions are, I have not planned this other than 3 minutes. I put a timer up there. I'm just going to sort of let it roll. So there's some blue. You know, I always put blue in the tail. I just like the way my roosters pop with blue. I put a little black in there always just because I like that undertone and the shadow. I like a little bit of red in there today. Look at that, just coming in like that. And then I'm just going to get some of that red and purple and just go right in here like this on the underbelly of the roux, like so. I think I'm going to get some a little bit of brown and put it right in here. Just kind of dirty this up just a little bit. He's been scrubbing underneath the tractor. I know I'm going to have some red up there in his comb. How am I doing on time? Whoa, got 120 left, so I slowed down a little bit. I got to hurry. Not really. Okay, so there's that. Let me go get some legs done here. Let's see. I want this. Pick a piece of music for your 3 minute. We're going to do this in the class. I promise you it's going to be fun. And going to let you just come up with something and see how you do. There's the little rooster right there. Got 54 seconds to go. I'm going to put some earth beneath the rooster. And I'm actually reaching over here for a pen that I didn't have. I'm just going to do some hatching across here and then cross hatch it like this. Come back in with this brush and just pick up a little water, let it bleed. And I'm going to go get a little bit of grass and just throw that in there. Maybe a little bit of brown in there. Watch this. I can just get brown off of the roux right here and just put that in there like this. And then let's see if I just went right here. What if I got 20 seconds to go? Watch this. 15 seconds to go. 6, 5, 4, roux, 2, 1. Lay my pen down. Boom. All right. Okay, so that was really 3 minutes, and I'm looking at the clock a little bit too. But take a look at what's happened. I didn't go back on the tail. I didn't go back and try to fill in all my lines. I didn't even go back and hit all the spaces where my pen was. I like those holidays. I didn't go in here and fill all this in. I just left the lines like they are. I let this purple bleed up into there. I hadn't even washed this brush out yet, okay? So in 3 minutes, I just made a decision to make this little roux who's bending down to talk to this grasshopper. Why would I do that? Because that's my style, these conversations, these stories. And so that's kind of where I want this Roux Basics to go. I want you, some of you should be stockpiling work that's your style and your voice and who you are and what you have decided to paint, be it landscape, animals, turtles, frogs, moles. I don't care what you do, gnomes even. And then it should be that you've got some of these and you've got to figure out where their home is going to go. Who are they connecting with? Okay? You see where I'm headed with this? All right. So the reason I would do a 3 minute painting on the class, or that I would ask you to do one, is for that reason right there. I got to decide the colors just like this. Now, what that does is it makes me paint looser. It makes me paint quicker, which is just one of the rules in Noodle Doodle Fiddle Piddle. Paint quick, paint fast, paint loose, and you'll back up and you'll go, you know, I kind of like that. I like that I had no control over how this paint ran into that paint. So what I get, and how this red blew into the yellow on his shoulder, on the hackles. So what? It's great. Now, what I have is I'm not set by the rule. I can go back and break any of my own rules. I can go back and say, okay, now that it's over, I want to go back and clean it up a little bit. So I want to put some detail in. I want to come back and I want to put some veining in his feet. And I might even want to come in and say you had a little too much water in the legs. So I'll daub those a little bit. Daub, I think, is a good word when you're from East Tennessee. And then maybe come back in and just touch a little more yellow in here and maybe a little bit of orange in there. Just pick up a little bit of that orange in the legs some. And then I'm forcing all sorts of temptations to go back in here and touch this, but I don't think I'm going to. What I will do is do a little more detail on the grasshopper, probably give him just a little more yellow life here, just so he differentiates from the grass some. And then I might go in here with a little bit of a pen, and I might have him. Oh! Do I have a number 5 up here? Yeah, look at this. I've just decided what I'm going to do. Look at this. All right. This made a great painting. Look, just thought of this. No kidding. Need a cup? I need to paint that little cuppa. I'll do my coffee cups in French gray. It just makes them look like they're real. You know, make them look like my diner mug is kind of a French gray. I'm having a little cup of builder's tea this morning. By the way, the mugs have been back ordered one more time. That's the Roo mug. It's the M mug from the local printer here. Well, they're not local. They get shipped in from who knows where in the world. And let me put a little tea in this. Just have a little tea in there, right there. And then, you know what I got to have? I got to have just a little bit. I need a tiny brush. Tiny brush. Look at this little rigger brush right here. I'm just going to go get a little bit of, this French gray and just kind of come up and just do some steam coming out of that cup. So what I've got is, I've got a little bribery going on here. See? So there's my painting. And how fun was that? In 3 minutes, I created a painting that I like, and a painting that I've never done before, where a grasshopper is offering the rooster a cup of coffee. Need a cuppa? You know, like, hey, buddy, good to see you, old pal, old friend. Because you know what, roosters spring after grasshoppers and just take them into oblivion and crunch on their legs. Nice thought for breakfast this morning. Okay, so there's a 3-minute painting. Ta-da! So that gives you an idea of what you do. See there, of course, these are, of course, Margie splatters or spatters. So I do splatters. I think Margie does spatters, but so it's splatters. Splatters would be the good word that I would use. It's like spilling ladders on the interstate, splatters. And Becky, thank you. I laugh at myself because sometimes I'm the only one in the room that gets the joke. And sometimes I just like it when creativity catches me off guard too. So that's a genuine little, I'm thinking to myself real quickly here, what's this rooster going to be looking at? Is he going to be talking to his son saying, don't do that? Is he going to be talking to his daughter? Is he going to be talking to, what's he talking to? Because he really isn't talking down to someone. He's leading down to talk. For years, I spent some time in children's ministry. And because I'm 6'5", kids, come up to my belt buckle, maybe. And so when they're there going like, hey, Mr. Roo, and so what I do immediately is drop to my knees and I get right there and I say, yeah, what do you want to talk about? And it changes their whole face. It changes their expression. It's what you do is that if the third grade teacher's always doing this, well, you need to do this. But you know what? I've been to restaurants where sometimes the waiter skids in and then just kind of comes down on your level or almost squats down or kneels down at the table and says, what can I get for you? How can I make your experience better here? Speaking of experiences better, Carol and I were at the Furr's house last night, Chip and Cheery. Chip's on the show, Chip with Climb's Roast Coffee. Some of you drink his coffee. I sent some out during the auction. And I'm telling you what, we had a dinner that was, and I'm not saying this just because I love Chip and Cheery. It was fit for a king. It was one of the best meals I've had in a while. And it was simple, and yet it had little pieces in it that were just like, explosive. And then we got into some fun things. We had a little hibachi set up outside. And by the way, we had to eat outside because Chip's dining room table is covered with art. Now, there's a guy who's chasing some art, and it made me laugh, but it was a great, great deal. All right, so you see what I've done here? All right, I got a surprise for you this morning, and I want to show you what it is, a couple things. So, Roo Basics is all about not rush. So there's a dichotomy here. There's an irony here. It's about slowing down, but it's about slowing down for the right reasons. Paint something in 3 minutes, not to just race the clock, but to pull back and go, oh, I'm going to do that again and see how I do. In fact, you know what? I got 3 minutes. Let's do one more just for fun. Okay, I'm going to pull. Why am I using small paper? I'll show you why. Look at this. This is a piece of Fabriano 140-pound paper right here. It's probably, what's that, 11 by 14, maybe something like that. It's a pretty good sized piece of paper. What happens is if I get a piece of paper like this, I think, okay, I've got to fill up the whole page. So that's a big drawing, and I've never done a drawing that big. So when I first start watercolor, that can be kind of intimidating. This is so much less intimidating. Look at that. This is even less intimidating. As a matter of fact, there's probably another piece here that's even less intimidating. You know, there's probably a piece here that's just like this big, you know. There's a little rooster that I did that's, look, he's 4 by 5, okay? Here's a little 6 by 8 bluebird that I did. And I did him in about 5 minutes, okay? Here's is this the rooster that I just did? Nope, that's not it. I don't even know where the rooster I just did is. I hope I didn't cover him up over here because he was still wet. Yikes. Oh, no, there's the one I just did. Okay, there's the one I just did. But I did one in ink, didn't I, when I started this morning? I seem to have lost him. Uh-oh, that's bad. Okay. I have loseth a painting. That's hilarious. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. There's the one I did when I opened the show this morning. Okay, so let's do this one more time on a small piece of paper. What do you say? All right, so here's a little piece that's close to maybe 6 by 6. So let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, let's pick up a pencil. This is a 555 General's layout pencil. Let me give it a little sharpen here. I'm gonna get my glasses on, so I sharpen the pencil and not my finger. I never sharpen my pencils like this. I have very little control. Like this, I have tons of control. Okay? Okay? Oh, he's going to cut himself. No, I don't. Look. There's no way that blade can get to me. All right. All right. So this is a General's 555 layout pencil. My daughter got me hooked on these. And I like it because it blends really well. So here we go. Watch this. There, let's do this again. Let's see if we can do it. 3-minute rule. Let's see if I can get this done in 3 minutes. Boom. There it is. 2:59. Here we go. Little bluebird. Little baby bluebird. There's his beak right there. A little wrinkled up beak. Well, his whole body's wrinkled up. Look at this. I'm just kind of going around here, making him just fat. I'm drawing him like a tennis ball, or an egg, or a pear. John Robert Small's been doing pears, so he can do baby bluebirds all day long down in the coffee field. Okay, so I'm going to come in here like this. I'm going to do a round eye. Then I'm going to do the little parts of his eye like this. I'm going to come back in here and just give him some of this. And then watch what I'm going to do. You saw me paint one of these a few weeks ago. Watch. I'm just going to take my finger and I'm just going to rub it in there until I get a little bit of that graphite to spread a little bit. And I'm going to grab the same brush that I used. This is a Yasutoma number 1, SW1. I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to paint with water again. Remember, it's watercolor for me. So I'm just going to let that water roll in. I'm going to put a little water there, a little water there. And I'm not rolling it. I'm letting my brush dance. This is stuff that I'm going to cover for the next 5 weeks in my class. Okay? Just a little bit at a time. Learn to control the water. You're in charge of it. Okay? Everybody fears watercolor because you just go, okay, let's do all this. You think about painting the bathroom wall. It's not like that at all. Okay? Well, if it is, you're not going to make it in the house as a house painter. Okay, so I got a minute and a half left. So there we go. So let's get busy here. I want a little bit of orange. Whatever happened to my email? Get out of there. Sorry. Okay. A little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, a little bit of red. I need some color coming down through the breast of this bird right here. A little. That's a little much. I painted a roo and didn't mean to, or an R. Okay, if that's too much, I can go in and just take a little bit of it out. There it is right there. Go back, do this. How am I doing on time? 59 seconds. I got to hurry. All right, so watch this. I'm going to take this pen right here. I'm going to go in. I'm just going to trace a little bit here. I'm going to do his eye. I'm going to come in and do his feet like this. How am I doing? 39 seconds. Can he pull it off? Can he make it happen? I love the contest of this for me. It just makes me think and make rapid decisions. Okay. Now, there's a little bit of, I like to take a little red, brown sienna maybe and pop it right around the eye socket just there to cause that eye to lighten up a little bit. 21 seconds. Get that out of there. Let's put a little black on the legs. Just let them sort of dance down like that just a little bit. Maybe a little black right there, and also a little black right under here, just to let that kind of bleed in. Maybe just in the last 4 seconds, a little bit of red, a little more blue, just to emphasize that some. 3, 2, 1. I think I ran out of time, but there you go. The only thing I would add to this that I didn't get to, and that's fast rush there, is to come in here, which is just a little gray, and create that right there. So I have this little birdie that, hurry! I have this little birdie that's ready to go on a trip. So now, am I done? I can break my own rule. I'm the one that set the clock. It wasn't like, the 5th grade monitor teacher who says, time, students, put down your pencil. No. But I wanted to play with it and get it right. And so I wanted a little more of this in here. And now I can come back as it dries some. And I'll add a little more dark to this right here under his eye. And maybe I'll come back. Now, watch this. I'm going to show you what I would do. I'd come back in here and add some more little flowery, little stringy, new feather growth that hadn't found its way to where it's supposed to be yet. Okay, it's just all over the place. So everybody looks at him now and goes, oh, look, his little feathers are just all still fluffed up. And so I got this cute little bird. There he is right there. So he's coming in for a little close-up. Ta-da! All right. So that's why I do that. It keeps me loose, makes me decide things fast. I have to grab my colors quickly. I actually had to stop and mix these colors. They weren't pre-mixed. So, all right, so there we go. Hey, I want to do something else on the show this morning. So I hope you get the concept of that. Not to impress anybody. Come on. I'm a mountain man who grew up as a blacksmith, but don't let people tell you that you can't do this or you can't do that. I remember when I first switched over to gas from coal when I was blacksmithing. And I was at this show one time up in Mars Hill, North Carolina, and they'd asked me to come up and bring my blacksmith shop. And I had a gas forge, and the guy, this old timer comes over, and I was a young man then, and he said, so you're cheating. And I said, excuse me? He said, yep, cheating. Back when I blacksmith, we didn't have any gas. And I said, well, I bet your face looked horrible all the time, and I bet you had a lot of coal dust up your nose. And I bet you go home and your wife didn't even want to kiss you a good evening. And I bet that your fingernails look like somebody who paints with ink. And so you probably look like a printer going home, or worse. You were called blacksmith for a reason. Your face was sooty. And so he goes, well, what's your point? I said, my point is, it takes me about an hour to build, or about 45 to 50 minutes to build a really good coked up fire to forge with. And I learned that way. And it took me about an hour when I got home to get all the coal dust out of my nose and out of my ears and in my eyes. And so when I started forging with gas, in 10 minutes, I could have steel hot enough to heat, and I could be forging it on my way. And so I decided that it was not that I needed to do everything that the old pioneers did. Rembrandt, we were talking about this last night with Chip, those guys had to go mix their paints. They had to find the minerals and crush the shells and grind down the stone. They had to do all that to get their paint. I'm blessed. I could pick up the phone and call Cheap Joe's and say, I want to place an order. Would you guys send me some new Terry Tardy turquoise? And they go, oh yeah, we know what that is. And they'll send it over. And so the point is that why wouldn't I use better skills and better tools to create what I want to do? That's not cheating in my world. It's getting creative and making creative art. You see the difference? I want you to understand that. So I went home disappointed that some old guy who thought he was a good blacksmith, and I was a young man then, so I was a little uppity in my own right, but I'm thinking, I want to find a better way to do it. So I asked him this question. When you go home tonight, will you flip a light switch on your wall and turn on the light? Or will you go over and put kerosene in the lamp and light that and read your book by kerosene? Well, of course I use a light bulb. And I go, oh, so there are some better ideas. So my point is that don't worry about breaking somebody else's rule if you found a way to do it better or easier. Look, and I've told you I was going to talk about Michelle. Michelle is painting on receipt paper. Have you ever tried putting a pencil to or a water to receipt paper? It disappears. I mean, it takes off. It goes everywhere. So you got to have a light touch. You got to have a quick light touch to do that. So she's broken the rules. Nobody would say, okay, today we're going to paint on, it's not even, rice paper's thin, but rice paper's tough. She's painting on receipt paper. So my point is, and Michelle, I told you I was going to talk about you. So here it is. Got a couple things I want to do. I went by the garden shop. And Libby wasn't in, but I left Libby a couple birds. And Sarah, I hope it's Sarah, was there. I may have just mispronounced her name, but I think it's Sarah. Sarah was there, and I gave Sarah a little painting. And so, but Libby was there, or Libby was not there, but she had set aside for me 3 birds. Well, you can see I just have 2 birds because one of them, of course, flew Wednesday night when Michelle was at Bella Cachita, my wife's cooking class, and it disappeared. She didn't steal it, but I wanted to give it to her, and I wanted to give her a little original birdie, and I think I may have given her a little bluebird. I think I gave her a bluebird. And then, but she knows that in 4 weeks from now, she's going to draw a name on the show and send that bird on its way to somebody else. And I just barely touched it with a little paint. And so what I'm going to do this morning is I'm going to draw a couple names from the show, and I'm going to send out one of these little concrete birds. Here they are right here. And look, these things cost me $6 a piece. So it's not the golden goose's egg. Okay, they're made out of concrete. And if the tail gets broken, glue it back on and ship it on. If you have to tape it together, ship it on. But here's the way this works. There are 4 of them out there now. Okay. Somewhere in the world, 5 counting Michelle's bird, and they're out there. And so if you own a birdie that you've gotten from Roo, it's time for the birds to fly. So draw a name from the show, just find somebody that posted or pick somebody and say, I'm sending you the bird. But what you have to do is wrap it up in a paper towel or in some plastic bubble wrap, put it in a box, and put it with one of your little original birdie drawings, okay? And those don't have to be a bluebird. They can be any bird you want to send. Okay, it can be a wren. And so it can be this bird. You can go, ooh, look at this. I'm going to sketch this bird. I'm going to just draw his little beak. I'm going to draw his little head like this and his flat back. And then I'm just going to draw his tail up and across like this. And there's his little wing coming out to the back. And he's got a little... Okay, so there's a little birdie right there. Boom, done. And so then you just draw a little box around it, and you paint it, and you say, ooh, I want to make it a wren, but I want to make it a wren that's got some browns and whites in it. So I just barely touch that like this, give it a little of this, and wrens have a little darker beak right here with maybe a little Payne's gray danced in there, just like so. And there you go. So there's your little birdie. Okay, now that was about 40 seconds, so you get an idea. So and then you're gonna sign it. Okay, so you're gonna say that Lisa did this on March or May, so it'll be 5/21, and you're gonna put your painting. You're gonna put your painting. Why am I cutting this when I'm so bad with scissors when I could just rip it like this and it just looks so cool? Okay, so there we go. So I'm gonna put my painting signed in with a birdie, and I'm going to send it to someone. So when they get it, they get to keep this in their collection of art. And remember, you sent it to them. Then they're going to keep this for a month, and they send it on. Okay, so that's how it works. These keep moving. The original art stays. So when you send it to someone else, you're going to send them a piece of original art. So today, I'm going to send someone this birdie and this little bluebird that I just painted right there moments ago. And then I'm going to send someone else this little bluebird. No, that's not the one. Where it is? Oh, right here. Right here. Tiny little bluebird. Oh, got it. I'm going to send someone this tiny little bluebird and this one right here. Okay, so I'm going to draw names, and those are going to go. So you got it? That's going to keep you all connected. You're already connecting more. I did this early on. And then Michelle, a month from now, your bird is going to be on its way, and you're going to paint an original for that too. Okay, so I'm going to sign this. Roodoodles N3. Okay, and I'm going to date it 5/21 right there. Okay, so there's the little birdie that's coming to you, and this one says Roo, and I'm going to put 5/21 on it. All right, so those two little birdies are heading out, and got it. That's how it happens. So Jason says, let creativity take flight. And Jason is a creative guy. He signs things creatively. He inspires creatively. And that's what he does with his students too. So you got to love it when a young man has that vision to move forward on. So those are going to happen today. I've got just a few more minutes, and I want to show you something else that's on the show today that I think is going to be fun. Not this thermos bottle, but I need some tea because I feel it in my voice. Nathan and I, my well-adjusted middle child, have been working on a massive video program for Young Life, and it's for one of their camps north of Asheville, North Carolina. You've seen me post from there. And so this coming Thursday night, this video premieres as a fundraising tool for that camp to celebrate the next 50 years. It's been there 50 years. I went there actually in 1971. 1972, I was on summer staff there. 1973, or number 72, work crew there. 73, I was on summer staff there and stayed for 10 weeks. In 74 spring, I moved there full time. Dropped out of University of Tennessee and said, the mountains are calling me. Oh, in the mountains, they call us, and we'll find our dreams up there. And so I went there. And then that summer of 74, at that camp, I proposed to Carol. And she and I got married in December, and we moved to that property, and it was our home for almost 10 years. And so by God's grace and just some awesome circumstances, I've been able to be a part of this development campaign for the next 50 years, and we're shooting this video. So I will put a link out later this week. So if some of you would like to see that show, you can find out where it is, or I'll send it to you later. It's a 30-minute piece that talks about the history. It talks about the message of the gospel that goes into that camp. It talks about the program. You get to see the property and just hear about it a little bit. But it's been part of my life, and so I share it for that reason. If you're interested in that sort of thing, I'll make it available to you. Anyway, so there's one more thing I wanted to do this morning. I wanted to open this box, and honestly, this box has not been opened at all. Let me just back my camera up just a little bit here so you can see. There's the messy disc. Two birdies. Let's see. Do I have a pocket knife up here? Yeah, just one that's still open. I literally have not opened this box. It just was shipped to me Thursday, and I was in the editing suite here working on some work, and I ran down and got it, and I thought, oh my gosh, I know what that is. I recognize the label, and I'm going to open it Saturday. So I don't know what's in here yet. Have no idea. It's going to be fun to see what Yositoma sent me. And I'm going to pull some names here. So I'm giving myself a little bit of time to do this. Nice knife. Here we go. Good tape job from some shipping department. Man, they did well. All right. Okay, this is probably a list of some of the things that are in here. I see a couple zeros, so there's a couple back-ordered things. Oh my gosh, this is going to be fun. All right, so I don't know what these guys shipped, but here's why they shipped it. They shipped it because they love the fact that Roo, that's me, is honestly, I haven't looked in this. There's a whole nother dozen of these pins, so that means a couple of those are coming out. Pat, I still have yours on the desk downstairs, so that means I'll send out a couple of these. Oh, that's perfect. This is the Gel Extreme pen, which I just sketched with, actually. It's a roller pen, and I've never been a roller ball, but you got to think it's like the needlepoint Pentel, but it has this awesome smoothness to it. It's made by Yositoma. It's called the Gel Extreme, and it's an 05 pen, 5 millimeters. So I'm going to send a couple of those out, and then let's see what else they got. She said all the brushes hadn't made it in, but look at this. Oh my gosh! Oh, this rocks. Let's see what we got here. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Look at this. This is a. Oh, this rocks. Look at this. Remember the other day that I remember a few months ago, I cut one of my brushes into a pin like this. Remember, I just took my pocket knife and carved it. They have created, even with a little hole drip here. See, I didn't think about that. They've created a pin, and on the back side of it, look at this, is a little pop pull out that slips in as a brush. Oh my gosh, this is rock and roll right here. I'm loving this, Yasutoma. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Okay. Ooh, a couple different sizes of those maybe. All right, so this one has a note attached to it that says, "This is for your daughter." Okay. So that goes to Aaron because Aaron is such a, oh, look at this. Okay. All right, this rocks. Here is the SW1, which I paint with all the time. Oh, this is a 0. Rock and roll. There's a 3. There's a 2. And there's a 4. All these are SW. So I'm going to give away. A brush, and I'll probably do that Monday. I'll get all these lined out, and so that's what Yasutoma just sent me. So there's the stuff. I'm going to give away a couple brushes, one of these pen brushes, and this right there. I'll give away that stuff on Monday. Today I'm going to give away these. Oh, that's pretty cool. All right, so join me Monday. We'll talk about that. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, so I've got just a couple minutes to go here. All right, so here's the way I do this drawing thing, okay? Over on the side of my screen, there's all the comments that come in during the show. And so I just scroll it with my mouse pad, like push up, and I'm looking over here, and it goes all the way to the top, all right? I can see the little cursor move. And then I scroll it down, all the way down, until I feel it stop. And then I'll scroll it back up, and then down, and then back up, and then I miss some, and then I go. So I don't know where if I'm in the top of the list or the bottom of the list, so I'm still looking at you. And I swing in right here, and the first name that I see is Laura Abbott. Laura Abbott, Laura-Abbott. Laura Abbott. Laura Abbott, if you would send me an email at roodoodles@gmail.com, roodoodles@gmail.com, Laura Abbott, if you would send that to me, I'm going to send you a birdie, and I'm going to write your name on the back of this right now, see if that's dry. Okay, Laura Abbott. If Laura doesn't send me an email, then I'll draw another name on Monday if I don't see an email from her before the day's over. Okay, or y'all can tell her if she's off the show, on the show. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do another one. All right, so here we go. Scroll up, scroll down. This is for the other little birdie that's going to fly. All right, it's the bottom of the page. Going up, going down, going up, going down, all the way around. First name I see is Virginia McClure. That's the first name that's on the top of the list right there. Virginia McClure. So Virginia, if you're on the show, VirginiaMCCLURE. Virginia, if you're on the show, send me an email at roodoodles@gmail.com, roodoodles@gmail.com, and I'll send you a little birdie and this little painting, and you get to keep the birdie. As a matter of fact, what you can do, believe it or not, is you can go in here and just take a little bit in the next 5 minutes to go here before I stop the show this morning. Just take a little bit of water and dance it on this little concrete bird here, and then I'm just going to go in and get a little bit of blue paint, and watch this. I'm just going to let it dance over his, like this. I'm going to make a little bluebird out of him, just like this. And watch, I'm just going to rub it with my finger and just let that kind of get down in the grooves. All right? You see what's happening there? Just kind of painting him blue. His head's a little bluer. Might have to use my shirt here in a minute. Okay. All right, so I'm just dancing a little bit of blue on the bird just to show that he's got a little bit of blue. And then why don't I wash my brush out and go in here and get a little bit of yellow and this red and just put a little bit right in here under his beak, under his cheeks, just like coming down on his belly like the bluebird. Look at that right there, okay? See that? Bingo. And then I could, if I wanted to, come in with maybe a marker of some sort and just put a little dot right here on the eye and on this eye too, just to show a little bit. There we go. All right, so I'll probably do that to the second bird also before he goes out. So there, I've just created a little bluebird. If you'd like him to be a red bird, if you'd like him to be a wren, repaint it. Just send it, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark out the price, $6, and I'm going to put 5/21 is the first start date, and I'm just going to put Roo on the bottom. You know I didn't make it, but I want you to know where it's from. When you see it, you'll go, oh, I know how I got it. So Virginia McClure, that's why I wrote the names down, and Laura Abbott, send me an email. You get to keep the concrete birds, these are concrete, for 1 month, and then find a name, draw it off the show, and send it to somebody else, but you have to send them a little bird original, okay? Let's play the game, okay? All right, so there we go. That's how it's going to work. So you guys are awesome to hang in on the show today. It's been an awesome time. Thank you for being here. And I've got 1 more minute. I'm going to try this bamboo tool, I think, just to see how it works. So let me pull a little piece of paper here. Let me get this out of the way. I don't want to get any, and I want to grab this bamboo tool. Look at this right here. I'm just going to take some, this is Suni ink, okay? This is also from Yasutoma. It's black Suni, S-U-M-I, Sumi ink. Sumi ink is just black ink in Japanese, Sumi E, okay? So I'm just going to take this. Ready? Oh my gosh, here we go. I think I'm just going to wet it a little bit first just to kind of make sure it doesn't. All right, here we go. Got 2 minutes. Dip it in. Got a little dip it down in there. Let's see what's going to happen. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm in love with this thing already. This is rock and roll. Can you see what's happening? I have not re-dipped it but one time. It's brilliant. Who thought of this? You creative people. And look at this, as it's starting to run out a little bit, it's causing some scratch marks. I'm going to finish this Roo, even if I run out of time. Oh my gosh. I think I can sign it in this. Oh, we're going to have to just pick up a little more ink here to do that. Yep. All right. So messed up there. I don't want to dampen my. Oh! All right, I can paint that. Let me wash this off really well. Put the lid back on this. This is the most dangerous thing in the whole art store right here, is leaving the cotton picking. All right, so let's get one of these new brushes here. Let me just do a new all-purpose 4. Let's see if I've got an all-purpose 2. Right there's an all-purpose 2 right there. All right, so I'm going to wet that one. All right, so the all-purpose 2, and then I'm going to come in and just let this go. And notice how cool that Suni ink is drying. Is that not fantastic? It dries a little faster than my other pen. Now this part, I left it wet on purpose. Okay? This is awesome. This Roo is going to be under a minute. Oh, these brushes are so delightful to paint with. I'm not kidding you, folks. When I discovered bamboo brushes with watercolor, and not a lot of watercolor artists use bamboo brushes, I still love to grab myself a number 8, number 6 American Journey, like a brush that has a nylon when I really want to pack something in there. But if I'm really trying to do my Roodoodle style, this brush just really pops for me. So there it is. Take a look at that in just a second. That was sketched with the bamboo brush and sketched with the bamboo pen. And I want a little bit of brown in the earth here. And then I want a little brown around him. Where's my old brush? I'll just use it as a little bit of splatter there. Margie, this is for you. That's splatter. It's splatter. Okay, now he needs an eye. Now let's give him a little eye with a flare pen because there's one just laying there. There it is right there. That Roo is done. All right. Blessings for you guys. I love being on the show with you. I love just having a community that cares for one another like you guys do. Above and beyond what I ever thought anything would happen. I had no idea over 14 months ago when I started doing this that you'd find a community of artists who cared for people and watched out for each other like you all do. It's really remarkable. Blessings to you. I will see you Monday morning. And so send me emails if you won those birds. And what's the name of the blue color you use for your bluebirds? Well, that color is called ultramarine, and it's really my go-to blue for everything. Here's the thing. It's a dark, robust French blue, but you use water on it, and you can degree it in however you want it. Light, back off, add more water, less pigment. You'll get all sorts of blue out of that. Bluebirds tend to have this color, but we try and find a color that matches a bluebird. You can use about 4 different colors. I just use ultramarine for most things. Okay. So you just have fun with your birdies as they come to you, and got to get outside and find me a nice stick to carve into a brush today. Love it. All right. Yeah, Jason, I think you would like sketching with ink. So, Jason, here's what I'm going to do. Send me a note, Jason, to remind me. Jason, send me a note at roodoodles@gmail.com, and I'm going to put one of these in the mail to you today, okay? I want you to have one of these pens, okay? So send me a note, and that'll keep you going on your show that you do on Fridays about inspiration. So, and I'm using SUNY ink. You can find that locally too, I think. Send me an email, Jason. You have my email address. And remind me, hey, send me one of those. I'm going to send you one of these bamboo brushes. I'm going to leave it in this wrapper right here. I think all these are the same. No, this is a 230. Yeah, all these are the same size. They have the same number on 235. So that's perfect. All right. All right. Blessings. See you guys Monday. Have a great weekend. You're right in the middle of it today. And I'll post a couple paintings. By the way, I think because I have a whole stack of birds over there, and I'm into the birds by hundreds now. I passed my 50, passed my 100 mark, and I'm still going. I'm still really concentrating on the bluebirds because I like these little. They're my style. They're a bluebird. They're a rue-bird, and I'll have some of those for sale in an auction, and they should go at a very, very fair price. And I'll auction some of those probably first part of June. If you're interested in the class, it's Rue Basics. Last sign up is tomorrow night at midnight. Okay, so jump in. You can sign up at roodoodles.com and go from there. Blessings to you. Have a wonderful day. I'm out of here like a herd of turtles. Wait, I almost forgot. Take a sip. Think of somebody you're going to send a note to right now. Got it.